This is where Judge Jeffrey Thorne recuses as a conflict of interest because he's the only Republican judge and the so-called victim of this battery here is the dipshit that took my phone. Got it stolen from the police. They get the video, which they didn't want in court, apparently, which is hilarious. And that's why, because it caused all these recusals. Anyway, so this dude recuses here as a conflict of interest with this case, lumps all three together, and then they go bouncing around Northwest Indiana for 2.5 years. Miraculously, every single special judge they go to is a Republican. In my opinion, that's why it took so long, is because they had to go by a certain schedule, so they kept skipping over the Democrat judges, and it took a while. You got to wait for other people to get special judges. I've got records requests in for all this now to prove it. Anyway, here's the no contact order. Then bam, recusal. Anyway, so we end up back in, okay, yeah, so hold on a minute here. Let's back up. So they were in Superior 1 with a special judge from Porter County. They transfer them back to Superior. The conflict which caused these matters to be transferred no longer exists with the appointments and acceptance of the special judge, unless Superior 3's court staff holds a secret trial, puts that into question. Bam. So both judges signed this. You got one order from Judge Bergerson, who recused as a conflict of interest, and then put in this order after he recused. And then the new judge goes along with it. Okay, so they kick it back to Superior 3, which is where the bailiff, Sharon Krasinski, works. That's the one that Eric Brandt was talking to, several other people spoke with. She's the one claiming that I should have filed something with the Indiana Supreme Court if I wanted a real deal American trial. Okay? So then bam, look at today. Oh, what's this? Entered today. Lo and behold. The original judge who swore he had a conflict of interest because of the victim, the supposed victim, the GOP chairman, the guy that decides whether or not he gets to run as judge next time. Look at that. Look who's in control of whether or not, and you see what he's focused on. Quickest he's ruled on anything in these cases. To acknowledge order of probation pursuant to the sentence previously imposed. So they're trying to get me to come in here and agree to follow their makeshift rules, their kangaroo court bullshit, so they can try to run me up. And where am I going to end up? Right back in front of this dude, who he couldn't fairly hear the case because of politics and judicial activities having an overlap, which is like the #1 thing that it's basically why we have judicial code of conduct, to prevent politicians from owning judges, as Jeffrey Thorne is clearly owned by Mitch Ficus. And according to the judicial code of conduct, Mr. Thorne cannot let me say that. He can't just allow me to tell the public that he is owned by Mitch Ficus. But the social cues I'm picking up here clearly show that Mitch Ficus runs his show. You know what I mean? Look at that. First judge to see it. Backs out as soon as possible. When it comes time to the trial, they put it right back in his court. His staff are telling the public over the phone that it's closed to the public. But the original conflict no longer exists. Yeah, now that we've got this judge that's willing to play ball, Jeff Tody, The original conflict doesn't exist. They put it right back in the original court. They close it off to the public. You know what I mean? They basically intimidated me into pleading guilty. There's no other way to put it. And then sure as shit, now he's Johnny on the spot. Right here, a hearing in front of this judge to acknowledge an order of probation. Now, obviously, the probation is it's overseen, not ran, but it's overseen, basically, by all these judges who swear they have a conflict of interest. Only one of them is different at this point with the most recent election, Jamie Oss. She's a Republican judge, though. So I would presume if she's a Republican, she has a conflict of interest. That's what that's what Judge Thorne's basis is. Either he's a liar or the other judge that's a Republican must have a conflict of interest with this as well. You know what I mean? It's a mess. This is what happens when you want a fair, real deal trial. The system implodes. These people are about to start eating each other because they're trying to protect the integrity of the system, and they can't because they've manipulated the shit out of it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I just found this. By the way, it's today. Of course, they're probably upset because I was going to bring a camera to probation. So they look how fast that got entered and typed up and everything. Because they would have had me sign this at probation today. But she canceled it, so they had to hurry up and type up this order and get it on the docket as soon as possible. It's amazing how quickly they can work when they want to do something. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's the end of this one.